Hey y'all, Brandon has asked me to record a video just giving a few tips on having a successful booth. I feel like a booth is a great opportunity to meet new prospects, get new customers, and really form relationships with new people. If booths are done correctly, you can have a lot of success from them. A few simple tips that'll help are: number one, make sure you're prepared. Make sure you have your table, your tablecloth, your products. Make sure you have Spark. I use canisters, bags of Spark. Make sure you have metabolic nutrition. You can set up the spring bundles with Spark, metabolic nutrition, catalyst, meal replacement shakes, fiber. Those are all good products to have on hand. So make sure you have those nice and neat on your table. Make sure you have your impact magazines with your labels with your contact information on there, and I also label my products too. Make sure you have contact sheets for your prospects to fill out, and those are easily downloadable on the internet as well. If you need help with that, you can let me know and I can show you where they're at. Also, make sure you dress appropriately. Make sure you are wearing your colors, you look professional, you look nice. That's going to obviously be one of the first things that stand out. Make sure you're wearing a smile. The smile is what's really going to draw people into your booth. Make sure that you are standing up in front of your booth, not sitting behind it. You want to engage people in conversations, and the only way to do that is to be out in front of your booth with a smile. And the very first thing you do before you start your booth is to make a spark. Jesse Randall says that's the #1 rule of a booth, is to have a spark before your booth. So make sure you have a spark. Make sure you drink it. Make sure while you're standing there that you have a Spark or a Rehydrate in a water bottle, so people can see that you have something colored in your water bottle, because that will be a good conversation starter as well. So make sure you have that. Make sure that you have a way for people to get started and get enrolled, whether it's using your phone or your iPad, your laptop. Make sure you have a way for people to pay if they're paying with a credit card. You want to make sure you have all these things. The last thing you want to do is get to a booth and someone want to buy a retail box of Spark from you and you have no way of taking payment. So make sure you have that. I talked about engaging in conversations. That's the point of the booth. The point of the booth is to go out and make some good relationships. You're not really there to make quick sales. You're really there to make good relationships with people. So you want to engage in conversations so that they remember you and you remember them. Ask, when people are coming by, hey, how are you? Give sincere compliments, and that will get people to stop and listen to what you have to say. So ask questions like, have you ever heard of Advocare? Or have you ever tried a Spark? Are you interested in health and wellness? Ask, when you're having those conversations, ask good questions. What do you do for energy? Do you drink, sodas, coffee, energy drinks? And then say, have you ever tried a Spark? And they said no. Well, Spark is a healthy replacement alternative to one of those types of energy drinks. Would you like to try one? And as they're trying it, have them fill out their contact sheet. And as they're filling out their contact sheet, it's a great time. That's usually when I start sharing my story, how I got involved with Advocare, my quick 2-minute story with them. And then at the end of my story, say, does any of that interest you? Are you looking or open to earning extra income? And so when they, if they say yes, that's when you want to set the follow-up appointment to properly share Advocare even more. So I always get a time and a date and a time that I can follow up, even just to check on how they like their Spark. So you want to make sure you set that appointment before they leave the booth for you. Make sure that when people are walking up to your booth that you're not just handing them a Spark and send them on their way. You got to engage in that conversation. Make sure that it's going to be a lasting impression and you get that follow-up date and time. When you're talking to people and you're having conversations, I'm always listening for the frustrations, because we know a lot of times people have problems and frustrations, and they'll start opening up as you're asking questions. So I can make note of that, so I can circle back to it when I follow up with it. I know that this guy said that he commutes back and forth to work and he doesn't like that, so he's looking for other options. Okay, when I circle back and follow up, that's a great point for me to pull, go back to and offer my solution to him for that. Another thing, last thing I'll say is I add people on Facebook. If it's we've had a good one-on-one, I'm like, hey, what's your name on Facebook? And I go ahead and exchange information on Facebook. That way that they remember my face, I remember their face, and then you already have their contact information right there. So the key to a booth is having a smile on your face, being super friendly, building relationships, conversations with people, and to make sure you follow up. If you don't follow up, then you basically did somebody else's job for them, because they loved it, they love Spark, they love Advocare, the culture. They're going to go find somebody else that sells it if you don't follow up with them. So I hope that helps, and have a good day.